40th इंटरनेशनल फिल्म फेस्टिवल ऑफ इंडिया राइट नाउ इन गोवा, और यहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीज़ें हमें सीखने भी मिलती है, बहुत सारे फिल्म्स देखने को मिलते हैं एंड उनसे भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें सीखने को मिलती है। लेकिन एक सेक्शन यहाँ पे है आर्ट गैलरी, और वहाँ पे एक एग्जीबिशन लगा हुआ है। विल नो अबाउट दिस एग्जीबिशन, व्हाट इज़ द एग्जीबिशन ऑल अबाउट?
Okay, well, right now we have a mixed reality sidebar where we are showcasing virtual reality for the next generation. Okay, so here we have AR, augmented reality, where basically you, with the help of this Blipper app, you download on Android and iOS, you hold it against a photo, you get the photo in the frame, tap to load. We have a little slow internet, okay. And you bring the photo to life. So you're mixing virtual reality with the what do you say, actual reality. So if you see right now, you have the actual reality at the back, okay. So same way you can go for every photo.
So every photo there is a story.
Every photo there's a this virtual story behind it.
So you have to download this app first, and you have to place it in front of the picture. So you can place it like you have to. This is a special kind of pictures.
This is a special picture because the artist itself has an offline copy, the hard copy, as well as an offline online copy, which is a soft copy available on Blipper.
Okay.
So if this is in case artists want to make education much more fun for kids to learn, so this is one step further into the future where kids can use their devices, like make it more of a media interaction education.
So you have many kind of stories over here. I can see a lot.
We have this basic one story is on acid attack victims. So if you go to the full story, we have like a whole set of them. So you can go one by one and see all of them.
So right now we can see the cartoon type of stories. So it can be possible like a real picture, and with the real photograph we can do that.
It could be possible because basically the app just looks at the offline photo and connects it to the soft copy photo.
So if we can connect the offline photo with the real picture, it could be possible.
It could be possible.
Okay, and anything else over here like we can see for the exhibition?
Yes, we are showcasing one of our biggest steps into the future is virtual reality. Sponsored by Samsung, we have the Gear VR and Samsung devices. If you can see, this is how virtual reality works. You get a full 360 view in a 3D on the device. So
for that we have to get a special device to shoot that.
Yes, you have to have Samsung 360 degree cameras, which are also on preview over here. They got two cameras, basically both of them give a 180 degree viewing angle, and you can take photos, videos, documentaries and stuff like that, and then place the photo and all that into the Samsung devices and view it whenever it's possible.
Okay, can we see, can you show us some more stories over here?
Sure.
And the comics and all which we used to read, like Chacha Chaudhary and all thing, yeah. So like that also we can do it.
Yes, provided the soft copy has been provided online, and yes, you can. So.
Oh.
See.
So these are some real pictures also?
Yes, these are real pictures, and you have a link to play a video.
Okay.
So you could play the video.
It's like coded code word in it, and the device find that code word and it plays like.
It does play. It uses the hard copy as well as a soft copy and combines it together.
It's really nice to kids also to learning for learning. It will make a good, yeah, interesting.
It's very interesting.
So, anyways, thank you very much for your time, and yes, we really liked it, and I think so. For last day, at least the delegate will come here and watch this. Thank you very much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you.
40th इंटरनेशनल फिल्म फेस्टिवल ऑफ इंडिया राइट नाउ इन गोवा और बहुत सारी फिल्में यहाँ पे देख रहे हैं, बहुत सारे यंग टैलेंट यहाँ पे दिख रहे हैं, लेकिन एक जो प्लेटफॉर्म है जो आगे जाके फ्यूचर है हमारा, दैट्स अ डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म. एंड यस, राइट नाउ विद अस वी हैव द इंस्पिरेशन ऑफ इंडिया यंग टैलेंट एकता कपूर मैम. सो वेलकम टू द शो. एंड मैम वेलकम टू द शो. एंड सबसे पहले मैं बात करना चाहूँगा डिजिटल वर्ल्ड का, क्योंकि ऑल्ड बालाजी जो है वहाँ पे बहुत सारे अच्छे शोज़ और बहुत सारे यंग टैलेंट देखने को मिलते हैं. क्या लगता है कि ये प्लेटफॉर्म है यंग टैलेंट को आगे आने का?
जी बिल्कुल. आई एम होपिंग कि कुछ सालों में हमारा जो यंग इंडिया, यंग टैलेंटेड इंडिया है, वो शायद फिल्मों में उन्हें चांस ना मिले, पर डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म में हमारे द्वारा बहुत सारा यंग टैलेंट बाहर आए. देवडी और ऐसी शोज़ जो बनी हैं उनमें सारे एक्टर्स जो हैं, सारे डायरेक्टर्स जो हैं वो यंग फ्रेश डायरेक्टर्स. एंड आई एम होपिंग टू चेंज द वे वी लुक एट यंग पीपल.
मैम इसके लिए बहुत सारे प्रश्न भी है, लेकिन यूट्यूब पे बहुत सारे कंटेंट डालते हैं, उसके बाद में उसको लाइन जो है जो बहुत सारी कठिन लाइन होती है जो देखना चाहिए नहीं देखना चाहिए, लेकिन जैसे ऑल बालाजी और कोई भी है वहाँ पे एक लाइन ड्रॉ की जाती है कि इससे आगे नहीं दिखाना है. तो ये क्या है?
देखिए, हम फैमिली मतलब वी नॉट, इट्स एन इंडिविजुअल व्यूइंग प्लेटफॉर्म, आप अकेले देख सकते हैं, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं हम पहले से डिस्क्लेमर दे देते हैं कि अगर पेरेंटल व्यूइंग, पेरेंटल थोड़ा सा ओल्डर कंटेंट है तो एज पेरेंट्स यू हैव टू लॉक दैट कंटेंट फॉर योर चिल्ड्रन. सो यंगस्टर्स और बच्चों को, ग्रोन अप्स को सर्टिफिकेशन की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती है, बिकॉज वो वी फील अ ग्रोन अप, दे कैन सी व्हाट दे वांट एंड वी डू आवर ओन सेल्फ सेंसरशिप.
लेकिन यहाँ पे सेंसरशिप जैसे नहीं होती है, तो अपना कंटेंट, अपनी आवाज़ लोगों तक पहुँचाने की एक अच्छा फ्रीडम है आपको.
अगर आपको सेक्स दिखाना है तो नेट पे आपको कहीं भी दिख सकता है, बट कहानी कहनी है और अगर आपको कुछ ऐसा दिखाना है जो शायद शॉकिंग हो, बट सिर्फ इसलिए नहीं कि शॉक करना है, तो आई थिंक हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे हम वो कोशिश करते हैं.
So I was doing my homework and I thought I'll talk to somebody who I think is a fairly non-Kashi individual. The person who's just worked with you recently, Meghna Gulzar. And Meghna, I don't really see her talking well of people, so Meghna sent me a WhatsApp. It's quote unquote. Alia is a completely instinctive actor and incredibly nuanced. She makes it look effortless on set, but I know she works really hard on the script, her character, and her lines months before coming on set, and that's why it looks so easy on the floor. To add to that, she's also an incredibly warm human being, which makes the entire film experience with her extremely special. So when I read this, my question is, Alia, from what reactions you got after your first movie, how did you manage to get to this feedback?
How did I manage? I don't know. I'm someone who believes that being yourself and really expressing yourself truly on camera and off camera is, I think, the best, most comfortable way I see fit to really go with, you know, the way I want to kind of roll out the story of my career. So maybe being myself has gotten those reactions, and as they say, never judge a book by its cover. So when Student of the Year came out, although I have to say I have no regrets even post that, I got a lot of love from children, and I still do, and I think they are the most loyal audience because they really love you from the bottom of their hearts. So, but after that, as in when these reactions started coming, the nuance, the actor, all of that, I just felt like, okay, theek hai, it was about time maybe when that was supposed to roll out.
So you said, I've just been myself on screen and off screen, and you said it in a single flow.
Express myself fully, on screen and off screen.
No, so why that stops me is because I've had people come to me and say, she is two completely different individuals. So when you meet her offline, when there's no work involved, she's 24 but she looks 19, she behaves 18 and so on and so forth. But once the camera starts rolling, she's a different person, so don't confuse person A for person B. Today somebody said to me, use a different word, she said, Venu, she's practically schizophrenic. She's schizophrenic, she has two personalities, and once the shooting starts as an individual, so only those of us who work with her on a movie set know that there is a different individual here. How true is that?
But I have multiple personalities. It's not just two. I have at least 7. And the ones who are close to me know that. I have a social personality. I have a personality that I have with my friends. I have a personality when I meet people for the first time, how I behave with them. Then I have a personality like, you know, of like, कि मैं बाहर हूँ पर मुझे पार्टी नहीं करना है personality. Then it's like अरे जिंदगी अच्छा है पार्टी कर लो personality. Or you know I'm very serious right now with this scene. Or like it's okay, yeah, the scene will just happen. I'm a completely moody person and it switches in 10 minutes. I can be 3 different people.
So we
but
can
that's
see,
just how I am.
We can see 3 or 4 sides of you then today because we have the
Maybe if you look closely.
How often have you been to Goa earlier?
I have been to Goa a couple of times. I mean, couple of times for work. I've shot a full film here. Dear Zindagi was shot here. So I've spent 45 days in Goa. And it's so nostalgic actually coming back because I'm staying in the same hotel, same room, same space. So it's bringing back a lot of memories.
There's one Goa memory of yours which I was taking out today. And you said, you know, me and my dad and us, we rarely spend time together. And when after Highway released, my sister and I decided to come to Goa for a weekend. And for the first time, Dad said he wants to come with us to Goa. We spent one night and he didn't sleep the entire night. And the next morning, he left a note on the table saying, I enjoyed Highway, done well. Remember that?
I have no memory of this. Where have I said this?
You said this in a print interview.
Oh, okay.
That the first time your dad
This is the forgetful personality who doesn't remember anything that happens. But wow, very sweet story.
I need to check the time there.
But I'm having trouble remembering it right now, so I can't talk more on it.
Okay, I'll lend you the reference point. The compliments you've got in the last couple of years, like you might remember, you remember Shobha Day saying that Alia is a big bee in the making?
No, I don't remember that.
Okay, she did say that.
She put out a tweet?
She said that formally after
Okay.
Highway Nurta Punjab,
Acha, huh.
Alia is a big bee in the making. And that's like the more well-known people. And I was reading an article in a fairly prominent paper today morning where a film critic wrote about your whole piece. You probably wouldn't have read that.
Today morning?
No, it's been written a couple of months back. What the piece says is, and therefore I found that you may not know people write this way about you as well. She shows glimpses of Nargis in serious roles, the spontaneity of Madhubala in light roles, and a fleeting shades of Wahida Rahman in emotional roles. Now that is the nature of feedback which people are writing about you currently. Now, is that elating or is it awkward?
I have to tell you, I don't get awkward, but I get very uncomfortable when people say things like this about me, and especially positive things. Of course, negative things though, I mean, one would have a normal instinctive reaction to. But especially positive things I get very weird because I am one of those people who is very worried that I'll let all of it go to my head and it'll disrupt me and completely change the person that I am. So whenever I get any sort of, you know, positive feedback or appreciation, I just like in my second, just thank everything that's made this happen. Thank my, you know, the universe and the stars and the reasons and that this has I've come to this stage, and I quickly forget about it, saying it's okay, but I need to try harder because there will be somebody better who will come along tomorrow and will, you know, be 4 combinations, not just 3. So yeah.
Is this self-taught or is it seen as an industry or a dad who tells you, listen, don't take it to your head when things are going well?
I think a bit of both. My dad did, while growing up, constantly tell me, and my mother as well, that, you know, the minute you start believing your own shine, the minute you start, you know, walking in your own fame, and if the minute you're the first member of your own fan club, that's what my dad says, your career is doomed. And I love my work and my career more than I probably love myself. So I would not want anything to be caused for its doom. Especially I don't want to be the reason it's the doom. So that's why I try to, you know, as they say, keep your head on your shoulders as much as possible.
And in reverse, when things don't go as well as you would expect, for instance, the way you would handle maybe a Shandar not doing so well, how is it more mature as compared to how you would react to flack about you after the SOTY? Like when things don't go very well currently, what is the feedback which dad gives you about that?
See, during Student of the Year, I had no idea what was happening. So even feedback for me was not like, oh, it was just like film has released, okay, now, okay. Imtiaz Ali wants to do a film with you, okay, theek hai. It was like that. I didn't know what was happening. When Shandar didn't do well, my heart broke. I felt like I was going through a breakup. Like I felt like I had admired somebody when boy has just stomped on my heart and run away. That's the way I felt. And I'm not going to sit here and justify it was not a good film, so it didn't deserve to do well. But actually after that day, I feel like I've become a stronger person, and because until then I had not had a film not do well. But that ripped off the band-aid, and now I'm sure that whether the film if it's a good film, it'll always do well. And if it's not a good film, it didn't deserve to do well, so you can't cheat the audience. The audience is the most important factor in movie making. It's all for them. So I would not want a bad film to do well, because I would feel like I'm cheating them. So yeah.
When do you judge when a film is bad? Because in this context, I recall you said that you had expected Shandar to do better. In reverse, the first time you saw Humpty Sharma, you said, and you may have said, going by previous experience, that you thought your career was over. So, but Humpty Sharma did far better than Shandar. So, what happens?
No,
the way you see
that is what you call a very selfish actor. Because I was only looking at myself, and I was feeling like, ye scene acha nahi kiya hai. You could have been better. And I remember I was very tired when I was shooting for Humpty Sharma, and I still remember telling my mom and my dad, like, I think I'm just going and I'm not thinking. Although today many people come and say, wow, you know, I loved Humpty and all of that. So that's what you call you know, like unexpected, sort of sweet unexpectedness. It's just you don't expect it and it happens. But what I mean by good film, and a good film does it leave a mark with people? Like it can do 150 crores in 3 days, but are people still talking about it when they see me? Like is it like one of the films that they mention? That's what I mean by a good film. It has to just touch the hearts, and it may not look. Highway is technically my least grossing film, but wherever I go, people talk to me about Highway first and then talk about maybe other films. So that's, I feel, my understanding of, is it left behind, like did it touch you in some way?
Now you've mentioned that Highway changed you as a person as well as an actor. How does that correlate with your schizophrenic personality? Because if you switch off yourself when you step out to play a role, how does playing a role change as a person?
Highway was the first time I moved out of my comfort zone. I was 19 years old. I turned 20 on the sets of Highway. I had never been probably outside the four walls of my house in Juhu. I'd always lived a very protected life. Even when I went on school trips, it was in school and all of that. I'd never really been exposed. With Highway, it was just me. Just मैं कहते ना मैं और मेरी तन्हाई. जो भी तन्हाई थी उस टाइम पे, whatever तन्हाई I had at 19, just came along with me, and I felt like I'd been pushed into this space because it was a very emotional film, and Imtiaz is like he really draw it out of you. Alia, go there, go deep and go inside, and I'm like, okay, I'm going. And while going, I reached kind of places that I never thought I had. So in that sense, it changed me because it really put me out of my comfort zone, and which is why I sort of became hungry after that for, I have to do that one film or 2 films every 1-2 years that just makes me feel like, you know, like that. So that's my constant aim.
So Imtiaz has said 2 things about you, which sort of stayed in my mind. One is, of course, that you might run the risk of exhausting yourself too soon.
Yeah.
And the other, that he has called you an old soul. Yeah. Now, are those 2 things complementary or contradictory?
I think they're quite complementary, don't you think? I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Maybe contradictory. I don't know. Depends what kind of old soul. An old soul can be a exhausting soul also.
What else has he said about you which sort of registers in your head?
These things he's constantly said. Alia, slow down. Alia, please. That's what he says to me. And then he feels, we became very good friends during that's why he calls me an old soul as well. Although many people tell me that not at all, you're not an old soul. I said, guys, just decide. But you know, what is it? Old, young, new?
But we can't decide about it, that's the point.
Because
that's where we started.
Yeah. So yeah, but other than that, he's very protective, and he keeps telling me that he's not done with me, he's not finished with me yet. And I'm still waiting for him to come back and finish.
So in this genre of absorbing roles and living them, the description, when you shot the Chul song from Kapoor and Sons, and you made the point that Urta Punjab had sort of sucked life out of you and therefore you bounced back, and that was, I believe, a 2-day gap. You finished Urta Punjab and you came shooting for this. So you say the energy in the song comes from my need to break out of Urta Punjab. Explain that to us.
So I was shooting for Urta Punjab, and it was a very hectic schedule where I was just emotionally drained, exhausted, physically, everything. And I finished the film. I had some 2 days left. And I was getting on to Kapoor and Sons, and we were starting with Chul, which was a party song. And I had been crying for so many days. I basically went for Urta Punjab. I left my phone and all at the back. I said, I want to disconnect from the world. I used to sit every day and just stare outside the window. I'd become one of those people. So when I started shooting for Chul, I had so much energy. I was like a beast. And they're like, Alia, what are you on? Like, why are you jumping so much? It's not even your shot. Sid ka shot hai, main piche uchal rahi hu. But I basically had been so exhausted and I was so sad that I just wanted something to kind of like pep me up. And what better than shooting a song? And that also Chul. So I went for it. I said, this is my happy time. Now I'm entering a happy film. Just go with it in full force.
So you said, I want people to laugh and cry and not just get them super depressed. So at the risk of being politically incorrect, don't actors usually get movies which are shown in film festivals? And that sort of movies typically tends to make people super depressed rather than make them laugh. Is there a duality between, making movies which get people to laugh, but those movies never get you those, the big, iconic festival sort of stuff? The whole art versus commercial undercurrent.
I think it totally depends, yeah. Because there are some films that make you laugh, but because they're so sweet and they're so emotional, they make you cry as well. And I'm not talking about festival films, I'm just talking about cinema. I've always had a problem with saying कि art house or niche picture, commercial. I've always found it a bit weird. It's अच्छी picture, good picture. बस मतलब let's not categorize it. But yes, I understand what you mean by the film festival sort of films. And unfortunately, there is a sort of a bracket. But having said that, a beautiful film can also make you depressed. Like, oh my god, it was so beautiful, I'm depressed. Not in that, I'm not using this word also very lightly. It's a big word. But what I mean is it can touch you in various ways. What I meant by that is I also want to do comedy and I also want to do like an Urta Punjab. I want to be both. I don't want to be only one kind of actor, and that I feel is a mark of a full circle. And I want to complete that circle.
As a consumer of cinema, not just an actor, give me your thoughts on a point. I mean, I'm talking about a few years back, Chip of Theseus, and so Kiran Rao was in Delhi, and she was making the point that, across the years, if a film does well at a film festival, the producer tries to disguise that fact and hide it. Because if people hear that this is done well at a festival, they think it won't make money, because it's a festival film. So you say, agar award mila, to batana mat kisi ko, bas chupchap release kar do India mein. Is that something, is that reflection on how we prejudge cinema basis branding?
Maybe. Some people, like I remember I was watching an interview of Kabir Khan once, and he was saying that when he came first, he was a documentary filmmaker, and some of his friends told him, "नहीं लोगों को मत बोलो documentary filmmaker हो, वो लोग seriously नहीं लेंगे. They don't say, just say you're new."
Right.
So I found that very interesting because documentary filmmaking is not easy at all. It's very, very difficult. But yes, I think it depends on a mindset. But there are sometimes where, at least for actors or a couple of people that I know, at least my friends and who have nothing to do with movies, they say it's, it went to all these festivals, they have so many stars from festivals and all of that. Like, it happened. Most of Anurag's films have always been to festivals and come. So I think it has an upside as well. It's the way you look at it and how comfortable you are as a director. But I don't think you can really tell the director what to do. Eventually, it's his or her baby.
So your dad has once said that, you can either make films for the Oscars or you can make films for the Indian audience, and I choose to make it for the Indian audience. Which is an undercurrent which you often hear, but I mean, you don't have to really defend his point here, but my point is that don't Oscar-winning movies also do well in India when they release here?
Yeah, but I don't agree with that statement. I mean, I don't disagree, but I don't agree with it completely either. Because yeah, Lagan was here and there, so I think it's just finding that one film that hits a chord with both, and I think there is that possibility. It's that we are by nature we tend to categorize and pigeonhole everything.
Yeah.
If we see it recurring 3 times, अभी ये हो गया, ये film festival है, ये commercial है, ये niche, ये art. I feel like we don't even give it a chance because we're so quick to judging, and that's something that I don't believe in. That's why I said again, never judge a book by its cover, and I genuinely believe in that because you never know.
Have you seen a change in the language of filmmaking in terms of people who approach you with movies and scripts in the time that you have spent? Like from the first year to now, how much has anything changed in the, say you get 10 offers or 10 scripts to read? Is there a change in tone? Is something moving in the industry?
I think there are maybe younger writers and younger directors who are like, oh, I've assisted this one on this film, that one. They're more comfortable coming out there and just writing films and taking them on independently. Earlier, I think there was a thing of there are only few big films that do well, but as I was just having a conversation with someone recently, there are these few films that are called sleeper hits that just come and in a good period, and they're a small film, but they do run for a long time and they become a hit. So I think I am seeing more of that now. I am meeting a lot of new people, and I made a rule to myself that unless I'm completely chock-a-block, I will try and meet everyone. Because again, as I said, you never know what gem is hiding somewhere, which young mind has something new to say. In fact, recently I met someone and I'm quite impressed by, what came out of there. So, I forgot your question.
Has the undercurrent of offers coming your way, the scripts you read, have they changed in the last half a decade?
I would not say change, like, oh, there's a whole 60% change. Slowly, steadily, there is some sort of, there's an openness to approaching with different kind of ideas.
Is there a gender-specific tone to how you see cinema evolving? Because a lot of people are sort of saying that, 10 years back, you wouldn't have a Kangna or a Vidya. People who've recurrently taken a heroine-centric movie and made money out of it, not just made the movie. So, as somebody who's, on one side you're the insider in terms of lineage, but on the other side, in the industry, in a sense, every heroine is outsider because she struggles to overshadow the hero. Do you think women are getting a greater breathing space in the system?
Yeah, most definitely. A lot of films come to me with like, this is a girl's film, it's a girl's film. A lot of stories are being written, and I think that also there was a glimpse of it back then as well. Whether it's Mother India, even my father's film Earth, they all had very strong female protagonists. So it's not like it's not been happening. It's just that we've been talking about it much more now, and people are, as you said, commercially, they are more open to it because I think now content is what is working. So whether one may sit on the table and discuss कि नहीं इसका opening थोड़ा सा low होगा, ये होगा वो, we can have that conversation, but eventually if the film is fabulous, it'll run. I mean, like as you said, like a Kahani or like a Tannu Ed's Mannu. I think it's totally driven by its content, and that's why one needs to understand, and I believe that you have to empower the writer and you have to empower the director, and that they should run the show, and you're basically the puppets that are making the show run.
Which are the movies you've enjoyed the most as somebody?
Shooting?
No,
or watching?
Watching.
Like this year?
Anytime, top of mind. Like if you had to bring 3 movies and tell people, listen, go out and watch these movies. There's movies which are pretty good, you may not have seen them. Anything comes to your mind?
So when I'm like chatting to people who don't watch Hindi movies and they're like, okay, we don't watch Bollywood, but tell us now. So I'm like, I would first, I know this is sounding a bit weird, but I would suggest Kapoor and Sons. I love Kapoor and Sons as a film, and I think it's a great kind of a glimpse into the Indian lifestyle treated in a fun contemporary way. Another film that I would recommend is Piku. I love Piku, and just for that thrill and that kind of that kind of madness, I would say Bahubali. So as you can see, totally schizophrenic, like I have 3 different.